Now we want to step through the program using the GDB. Let's say I want to enter the GDB and look at the memory addresses related to the A variable, B variable, and other things, and see when they are assigned. So in here, if I say GDB and then the name of the executable, I break and the main, which we said is equivalent to a start, and then we run it. If I say list and hit enter, I want to just list all the source code of A, or actually if I want to look at the memory address related to A variable, I say P for the pointer, ampersand for the address, and then I name the variable name, for example A. If I hit enter, it tells me no symbol table is loaded, or list for listing the source code in here. It again tells me the same thing, no symbol is loaded. The reason is that we said symbols are not exported to the process, right? So right now, if I just look at the size of the process in here, it tells me the size is almost 8 kilobytes, 8,416 bytes. If I look at the different sections of this file using the readelf command, which you learned in the previous modules, and well, readelf, not readelf, and you see we have 29 sections. Some of them you are familiar with. Now if we want to export all the symbols to the process so that the GDB knows them, we could say at the compile time, instead of saying gcc printing.c-o and then the name of the executable, we should provide a different flag called ggdb. In this way, some information would be added to the process so that the GDB could better understand it. Now if I hit enter, well, you would get the same thing as we got in the previous lecture, but the thing is that if I say ls-la and then printing, the size is much more. It's 10,800 bytes comparing to this value. Now what are these extra information? These extra information are all the symbols, the debugging information that are required so that the GDB could better analyze the file. If you look, last time we had 29 sections, but if I run the command again, now we have 34 sections. The extra sections are debug arranges, debug info, debug abref, debug line, and debug str. All of these 5 sections are debugging information. You could just look at the size 30 to F1, the beginning and the ending, and you could use also the xxd command to dump the content of the process, both this process and the last one, which, well, we didn't change the name, so they are the same thing, but you could just look at it using the more and compare it with the last one and look at all the addresses in the section and see the extra information, which actually I think would be a good practice because you acquire the required knowledge in the second module in the ELF. Now that the file is good, I want to quit the GDB in here and enter it again. If I break at main again and run it and say list, now this time we have all the source code listed in here because this information has been added to the process. Now if I say p ampersand a again, it tells me that A is actually at this memory address. If I copy it and use the X command to see the byte at this memory address in the hexadecimal representation, it tells me 0, 0. First that we define the variable, it would be initialized to 0. If I say step I, it tells me and run it again, it tells me that the value is 0x41, or if I want to see it in the decimal representation, it would be 65.